She had worked her whole life for that house. Every hour at the diner, every double shift she picked up after her husband left, every sleepless night raising her little boy alone. It was all so she could buy that tiny blue house on the edge of town. For Amanda Hayes, it wasn't much, but it was hers, a place where her son could feel safe, where the world couldn't get in. At least, that's what she thought. It happened in the middle of a cold Thursday morning. She had gone to visit her sister across town for 2 days. When she came back, she found her front door wide open, the windows covered in blankets, and a stranger's truck parked in her driveway. At first, she thought maybe there had been a mistake. But when she stepped onto the porch, a man came out wearing her dead husband's leather jacket. "Can I help you?" he said, smirking. Amanda's heart raced. "This is my house," she said, gripping the keys in her hand. "Not anymore," the man laughed. "We got rights. Squatters' rights." Behind him, 2 more people stepped out, both looking rough, faces worn from drugs in the streets. There were beer cans littering her yard, her son's bike lying in the mud. The American flag sheet hung by the window was gone. Amanda tried to call the sheriff, but when they arrived, all they did was take notes. The deputy shrugged. Once they're inside, it's a civil matter. You'll have to go through the courts." It felt like a nightmare. Days passed. The squatters stayed. They changed the locks, burned the furniture, and taunted her every time she came near. Her son cried every night in the car where they now slept, parked behind the old grocery store. She tried to stay strong, but something in her was breaking. She went back to the sheriff's office every day, begging for help. But the law didn't care. One deputy even said, "Next time, don't leave your house empty. That's how you get these people." By the 5th day, Amanda had nothing left. No hope, no home, no way out. Until one man sitting in the corner booth of a diner overheard her story. His name was Jack Grizzly Tanner, president of the Road Reapers MC. Jack had the kind of presence that filled a room without a sound. A big man with a gray beard and arms covered in faded ink. He looked like the kind of person most folks avoided. But when he saw Amanda crying into her coffee, something in his chest twisted. He'd seen the same look before, in widows of his brothers lost in war, in single moms trying to hold the world together with duct tape and faith. He waited until she got up to leave, then spoke softly. You mind if I ask what's going on?" At first, she hesitated, but his voice had a warmth to it, steady, calm, almost protective. She told him everything. Every word poured out like a flood she couldn't stop. By the time she finished, her hands were shaking, and Jack's jaw was locked tight. "Where's your boy now?" he asked. "In the car," she whispered. Jack nodded slowly. "You got a phone number?" She nodded again. He wrote it down on a napkin and stood. "Don't worry about it anymore," he said. "We'll handle it." That night, word spread fast among the Road Reapers. Jack called in every chapter within 100 miles. "We got a situation," he said simply. "A woman and her kid just got thrown out of their own house. Law won't help, so we will." The club didn't ask questions. They didn't need to. When one of their own, or anyone innocent, was wronged, that was enough. By dawn, the sound of thunder rolled through the valley. But it wasn't a storm. It was a sound of 300 motorcycles roaring down the 2-lane highway, chrome glinting in the morning sun. Every man wore the Reaper's patch, a skull gripping a scythe in its teeth, the symbol of their code, honor above all. Amanda stood by the roadside, her son holding her hand, staring in disbelief as wave after wave of bikers filled the horizon. She couldn't stop crying. When the pack stopped in front of her house, the squatters came outside, laughing at first, until they realized what was happening. 300 leather-clad men stood silent in the yard, their faces hard, their engines rumbling low like growling thunder. Jack got off his bike and walked up the steps, slow and deliberate. "You've got 5 minutes to get everything you own out of this house," he said. The man in Amanda's jacket tried to puff his chest. "You can't do nothing to us. The law says." Jack took a step closer. "We're not the law," he said quietly. "We're the reason you should follow it." The squatters looked around. Every biker was watching, still as stone. No one said a word. The man's voice cracked. "We'll go." They left faster than they came. The bikers didn't touch them, didn't threaten them, just stood there, unmoving, a wall of steel and resolve. When the last of them was gone, Jack turned to Amanda. "Keys," he said gently. She handed them over, trembling. Jack walked inside, checked every room, and came back with her son's baseball glove and a framed photo from the floor. "It's clean," he said. "Welcome home." Amanda fell to her knees, sobbing into her hands. Her son ran past her, straight into the house, laughing for the first time in days. Jack looked around at his brothers. "Let's make sure it stays that way." The bikers spent the whole day fixing what the squatters destroyed. They replaced her locks, painted her door, even rebuilt her porch swing. One guy mowed the lawn. Another brought new curtains. By nightfall, the house looked whole again. Amanda didn't know what to say. "I don't have money to." Jack cut her off. "You don't owe us a damn thing. Just take care of that boy." She nodded, tears streaming down her face. "Thank you. All of you." He smiled faintly. "Don't thank us. Just pay it forward when you can." Before they left, the road reapers lined up their bikes one last time, their headlights shining bright across the little blue house like a promise. The engine started up, one by one, until the whole street shook with the sound. Her son stood on the porch, waving as they rode away into the night. In the weeks that followed, Amanda's story spread across town like wildfire. Some called it vigilante justice. Others called it righting a wrong. But to Amanda, it was simple. They'd given her back her home and her faith in people. Every time she heard the distant rumble of motorcycles, she smiled. "That's the sound of angels with engines," she'd say. Months later, Jack stopped by again, just passing through. The house looked brighter. The porch was lined with flowers. Her boy was playing catch in the yard. "You two doing all right?" he asked. Amanda nodded. "Better than ever. I've been volunteering at the shelter, helping other women who got pushed around. Seems like there's more of us than people think." Jack smiled. "Good. Keep fighting." He started his bike, but before he left, Amanda said softly, "You saved our lives." Jack shook his head. "Nah, you just needed someone to remind the world that right's still right." He rode off down the road, the sun dipping low behind him, the sound of his Harley fading into the wind. That night, Amanda tucked her son into bed and looked around their little house. The walls freshly painted, the floors clean, the warmth back where it belonged. For the first time in a long time, she felt safe. She whispered a prayer of thanks, not to God, but to the men who had become her unexpected guardian angels. Because sometimes justice doesn't wear a badge or a suit. Sometimes it wears leather, rides on two wheels, and carries a code stronger than law itself. If you believe bikers can be heroes too, share this story.